Either way, you first do that and you figure out, okay, how many units can I do here? And so typically 2 units with the prices in Boston, it's not really going to work out. You want to get more than that.
Let's get some enlightenment, because I certainly need it, and I'm sure that the listeners would appreciate it as well. Let's talk about this zoning code entitlement thing. What you said something about not much density. Can you give a little bit more context? And then at the same time, I want to make sure that we're also touching on when you say condo, that maybe that could be ambiguous. Can you give me an alignment? Are we talking, 8 units together? Are we talking 12, 150? Like, what kind of condo units are we talking about? I think that will help as well, because I can picture it. I'm thinking of already of Seaport, and I'm thinking of all those areas. But for some of our listeners who don't really know the asset class here and the product, I think that'll be some good context.
Yeah. So, when Nick talks about entitlement and zoning in Boston, this can apply anywhere, but the city is really, it's really city dependent, municipality dependent, whatever you want to say. So, the entitlement process sort of involves, many steps, and Nick can kind of fill in if I'm missing anything here, but I'll try to make a good overview for the listeners. So, you might find your property first, whatever you're maybe looking at. There's an opportunity that comes to you and you say, okay, this is in a 2-family zone. So the zoning law for that, the zoning laws for that area say, okay, you can build a 2-family structure here. So you think by right, what we could build, then this kind of answers your condo question too, is a 2-unit building. So we could then break it into 2 individual condos. So it might look like a 2-family, a duplex type thing that someone might be familiar with. And it'd be 2 individual owned units by 2 separate owners. Or, maybe you'd have an owner, so an investor buys both and owns them as condos and rents them. But that's sort of into the minutia. So that you find your land or your property. Maybe it's a vacant piece of land and you can start fresh. Maybe it's a other old building, old house you want to knock down. Either way, you first do that and you figure out, okay, how many units can I do here? And so typically 2 units with the prices in Boston, it's not really going to work out. You want to get more than that. Maybe you find a situation where 2 units could work if the condos sell for a lot. So you find it, you see how many could I do here? And simultaneously, you're looking up what are condo comps selling for? So are they selling out at a high enough price per square foot? That's kind of the basis we look at. What is the price per square foot? Are they selling out in this neighborhood, in this area, for a high enough price point that we could come in, buy it for this price, construct it for this much per square foot, and that there's still a difference there to profit based on what we could then sell it for per square foot? So that's very early stages, kind of this whole entitlement process. So when it really kicks in is when you actually start dealing with the city.